Hey Fools, David Hansen here, financials analyst with The Motley Fool as part of the Ask a Fool series. We have a question from Dustin Hall from Facebook. Dustin asks, what is going to happen to mortgage REITs? Seems like they've taken a plunge. Is this because of politics or the housing sector or both? Will they come back? Will they still pay great dividends? That's a great question from Dustin. A lot of people have gotten interested in the mortgage REIT sector because of these high dividends. So just to be clear, the mortgage REIT sector, when we think about REITs that actually own properties, that's not what we're talking about here with the mortgage REIT sector. These are companies that invest in mortgage-backed securities and take that interest that they make off those securities and pay those out via dividends to their shareholders. So the question here is, what's going to happen and why have they taken a plunge recently? And it's a couple of things. The low interest rate environment, when they bring on new mortgage-backed securities, those are earning a lower rate than they had if interest rates are at 6% like they were several years ago. So they're earning less on these mortgage-backed securities that they're holding. And the second part that's impacting the stock price is anticipation of what the Fed's going to do. So when Dustin asks, is this politics, to the extent that you're including the Federal Reserve and their policies as politics, then yes, that does impact it. There's uncertainty. What's the Fed going to do? When are they going to end their quantitative easing program, which impacts interest rates? So if we think about any fixed income product, which a mortgage-backed security is, when interest rates rise, prices of existing fixed income, they fall. So there's worries about what's going to happen to the book values of some of these companies if they're holding mortgage-backed securities that decline in value. So if the stock price does fall, it's always kind of an interesting back and forth, because if the stock price falls, and the dividend doesn't necessarily fall as quickly, then that dividend yield is still going to be high. So it's kind of a back and forth there. But it's always important to remember with these REITs that they are legally, they have to pay out a certain amount of their income. So to the extent that they are still earning income off these assets, they will still be paying that out. Just to the extent of how much it's going to be in the future, that's what it's for anyone's guess. So it's definitely an area that's going to be interesting to watch in terms of what's the Fed going to do, what are interest rates going to do. So it's going to be a risky thing to hold in terms of a short-term play, but if you believe in the sector for long-term, it might be something to hold on to. Again, this is David Hansen, and you can always read more on Fool.com.